What's up, people of YouTube? This is Driftor bringing you guys another video to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about Call of Duty WWII, something that I have not touched on since the multiplayer reveal. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of explaining to do as to why I have not talked about this on my channel yet. But before I get into that, I'd like to ask you guys to do one thing. Can you go ahead and hit the notification button right next to the subscribe button, just so that way you guys don't miss any more videos from me. You guys will get notified and you can become a part of the notification squad. Now, let's get right into it. So this video is probably going to be pretty long. So I hope you guys are prepared to just kind of sit here and listen for a little while. I hope you guys don't mind. You'll be seeing some MWR gameplay in the background. And now let's talk about Call of Duty WWII. So I have several things that I'm going to cover here, and it's mostly going to be multiplayer related because obviously it's not too big of a deal to cover anything else besides maybe zombies, which I will touch up on later on in the video. But first of all, I'd like to talk about the divisions slash guns slash attachments thing. So this whole process that is supposedly replacing Create a Class, watching the gameplay that has been on YouTube and reading the information that I have found on the internet, I don't think that this is going to be a super big deal. There are some things that worry me about it. I'm worried that there's going to be a very, very select few things to do, because if you guys don't notice, they basically just taken perks from previous Call of Duty games and then combined them into one mega perk almost. So like, I don't know if this is one, it probably isn't, but I'm just going to go ahead and say they take Sleight of Hand, Lightweight Pro, and I don't know, Tac Mask, and they throw it all together into one perk, and then they call that Safety, for example. Say that's what they call it, Safety. That's one perk that you can use, and some of those perks, there's basically 3 slots, right, that you can choose from. 2 of them are restricted to that division, whether it's airborne, infantry, mountain, or the armored, or the shotgun one, whatever that's called, expeditionary or whatever. Those are locked to those divisions, but one is not, and this is where my worry comes in with the divisions area. I'm worried that there's only going to be like 3 that you can pick from, because in previous Call of Duties we get like 6 perks, maybe 7 per perk slot, which gives us quite a bit to choose from. Where in here, if you take 3 perks, 2 to 3 perks, and combine them into one mega perk, then you're only going to put 2 or 3 perks in that one slot, if that makes sense, because you're going to have 2 mega perks, which is going to combine and be made up of 6 perks total. So they might kind of think, you know, oh, well, this is 3 perks here, so you can have this, where I don't think that's really a good idea. I don't like that idea at all. I really hope that it's a very vast selection. I hope that amongst the 3 different areas that you can choose from each division, one of them being across all the divisions, I hope that if I click on one in the infantry division, for example, I hope there are 6 different mega perks per se that are exclusively to the infantry division, and I hope that I can go to the mountain division, and then there's another 5 or 6 in that division that are exclusively for that division, and then also the ones that are not, you know, separated by divisions. I can click on that, and there's like 6, 7, 8 different mega perks per se for that division as well. That's what I would really like to see. That's pretty much all I have to say about divisions in general. That's my only big gripe. I was worried that we weren't going to have a Create a Class, and it was going to be really wonky and weird, and I don't think it's going to be like that. I just feel like the amount of division perk things that we have could make or break this system, in my personal opinion. Now, the next thing I want to talk about here is guns. We haven't gotten a huge taste of the weapons yet. You know, they've announced some weapons, but they haven't really said what's all in the game. They, you know, like 2 or 3 weapons per class, which that's okay. You know, we're going to see more when the beta rolls around. But something that I'm kind of worried about is Activision. Not Sledgehammer. I'm not blaming them for anything. I'm blaming Activision. I am really worried that they are going to take a look at this opportunity, knowing that people like the World War II weaponry, whether it's the PPSH or the STG-44 or you know, various pistols, sniper rifles, whatever, Mosin Nagant, and they're going to go, let's go ahead and put this behind a paywall. Let's go ahead and leave these out for now, and then the first wave of DLC, throw these in, and watch people purchase our supply drops and things of that nature in order to unlock these guns. I do not want to see that happen. I want to see all of the guns that were on the World at War by default. Those should be in this game, no matter what. If you want to throw other guns in there later on down the line that we've never seen before, go ahead and do it, because I know you got to have some DLC guns. I know it's going to happen. If anybody in this video, listening to this video, doesn't think it's going to happen, you got to open your eyes. Like, they make more money off these supply drops than they do the actual game nowadays. It's just something that's going to happen. As much as we don't want that to be, that's how it is. But I do not want to see them hurt us by taking away weapons that we've had in Call of Duty for a very long time just to benefit themselves, because I feel like that's what they're going to do. That could really hurt this game. Now, attachments, something that I'm really happy to see. There are a lot of attachments. They basically found some Call of Duty way to make the attachments from the past like 4 or 5 Call of Duty games fit into this game in a World War II era, and I'm really happy about that. I'm really glad that there are quite a few attachments here, so we don't have to worry too much about a lack of attachments, and I hope they come up with some new stuff. That'd be cool to see some new things in the game. I wouldn't mind that at all. Maybe some stuff that was in the World War II era that never really made it forward. It didn't evolve with the rest of the things that we have nowadays. I think that would be something really cool to see. Now, the next thing that I kind of want to talk about here is the score streaks, and this is going to be a pretty quick one. More or less, everything that we've seen so far, I really like. I'm really excited about the score streaks. I personally don't make a giant run in try and strive for high streaks. I just kind of play the game and move around on the streaks that I feel like if I do get them, it'll benefit me in the game. But I don't stress myself out over getting a 10 kill streak or getting a 15 kill streak to get the biggest streak in the game, whatever it may be, because that kind of takes away the fun for me. I focus on improving my stats and improving my gun skill, getting more kills with my gun, not necessarily in a row, just trying to get a lot of kills per game. That's what I like to do. And streaks are a nice added bonus if I do manage to get them. But I am very excited to see that the streaks are powerful. I hope that they don't add any sort of customizable score streaks. I hope that they don't add any DLC score streaks. Honestly, I don't really want to see that. I don't want to see score streak variants. That is nothing that I want to see in this game, and I hope that they keep that out of this system. I do not want to see that at all in this game. I really don't want to see that at all. Just 0% want that. Now, we have the maps for Call of Duty World War II. They have confirmed that it's going to be a variety of different locations, which is very exciting. I'm happy about that. I like the fact that they're not just going to be all dreary, dark, brown, black, gray maps. I do understand that it's a World War II setting. It's war-torn. It's destroyed. I get that. And that's another thing that I want to talk about. But I'm happy that they're going to be moving these to different locations. You know, maybe we'll see something over in France. Maybe we'll see something over in the Pacific area, even though that's not where the campaign is based. Maybe we'll see some stuff on a ship in the middle of the ocean. You know, I want to see options, and that would be really exciting to me. Some Battle of the Bulge, some stuff like that. I just think that's really cool, and I hope that we get variety like that. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was, considering that the maps are war-torn, I really hope that they don't clutter the map up with a bunch of junk. You know, from the maps we've seen, it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad, but in Call of Duty Ghosts and some other Call of Duty games, there have been maps where everything is destroyed. Buildings are falling down. It's war-torn, so there's rubble and debris everywhere, and it makes it harder to see people because your eyes can't sort through all of that stuff to pick out a little head sitting behind a barrel on the other side of the map. The most successful Call of Duty games, like Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, I mean, those had war-torn maps. COD 4. I feel like Black Ops 3 was a pretty successful Call of Duty. I like it a lot. I feel like it sold a lot. These maps have a lot of areas that they're like arenas. They're not destroyed and blown up and everything else. They're clean. They're nice and clean, and they're not super, like, they're not messy, you know. I don't have to worry about running into like a brick laying on the ground every 3 steps. I don't have to worry about a pile of dirt over here in the corner, you know. It's nice and clean, and it's like an arena. It's untouched, and I hope that they bring that back in the new Call of Duty World War II. Advanced Warfare was pretty good at this, so I have a lot of confidence in them for the maps being pretty good. 3 lanes, I think that it will be all right. Alright, so now the war game mode is something that I want to talk about by itself. I'm excited for the war game mode, and I think I'm going to play it a lot, but there's 2 things that I want to talk about when it comes to this. First of all, I would like to make sure that there's variety in the war game mode, and I'm sure there will be. It's just, it's not something I've heard anyone talk about yet, and I want to make sure that I want to know that there is a variety of objectives and locations. I'm sure objectives will be one, but I'm not so sure that or I'm sure that locations will be one, but I'm not so sure that objectives will be one. I want to make sure that instead of just having to build a bridge every time or escort a tank every time, there's different things that we have to do, you know? And I can't even begin to tell you what those things would be because I'm not a developer, but I could understand that they're not going to be different for every single map, right? I know that they brought in Raven Software to help with this game, mode in general, and I would like to see that there's going to be different objectives, not on every map. You know, they reuse them on certain maps, that's fine with me, but I just really hope that there's, you know, 3 different sets. So say the one that we see in all the gameplay that's on YouTube, right? Say that one, those 3 objectives are the same 3 objectives for 3 other war maps. I'm okay with that. But I would like to know that amongst the other 12 maps, which I hope there's that many maps, that'd be really cool. I hope that there are 3 other sets of objectives amongst those other like 8 maps that are left or whatever, you know. I don't want to see the same thing over and over and over again. Now the other thing I would like to talk about is I hope that the stats for this game mode don't carry over to your stats in the regular multiplayer, your deaths anyway, because I don't want the KD to affect your KD, because this game mode, it doesn't even show your KD. Does it show your deaths? I don't know. I don't think it does. Maybe it doesn't even show your kills. I don't remember. Point being is this is a very team-driven, objective-based game mode, and I enjoy that. I want to play that. I want to be a part of that. But I'm not going to do it if I'm going to be getting 50 deaths and I'm going to be getting, you know, 50 kills and 70 deaths every game. I'm not going to do that. I'm just simply not. It's not going to be something that I am willing to partake in just to see my stats drop drastically because I choose to play a game mode where the objective is key. I don't think that's very rewarding. I don't think, because stats are an important part of Call of Duty. I don't care what anyone says. A lot of people care about their stats, myself included. And I want to enjoy this war game mode, but I want to make sure that it's not going to destroy my stats at the same time. More or less, that's all I really have to say about the war game mode. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what they do with it. And I really, really want to enjoy this game mode. Hopefully we get more information on it before the beta, but if not, I'm sure the beta will have plenty for us to enjoy and play. Maybe an extra map in there or something like that. Moving on here, we have Headquarters. So Headquarters is probably the most exciting thing to Call of Duty World War II, in my opinion. There's a lot of stuff in this that I'm going to cover. First of all, they have the shooting range. Obviously, Sledgehammer Games implemented the shooting range back at AW. They did a fantastic job. I like the shooting range. I think it's useful, but they've stepped it up a little bit. So now it's inside Headquarters. You can go to the shooting range. You can do little mini games with your friends right there in the shooting range, as well as other things. So they've mentioned that there might be party games in there, and I think they mentioned that it might actually be inside of the Headquarters mode itself. So with that being said, that means that our gun game, our sharpshooter, whatever, if they bring that into this game, maybe Infected or whatever, that could be inside Headquarters, and that could be really, really cool, and I'm excited about that, and I hope that that is the way it goes, because I feel like party games, once again, it's another thing, like it adds to your stats, and it's a party game. I don't feel like it should be that way, but it should definitely be like a public game mode for sure. Also, they have like exclusive areas inside Headquarters, which I think is really nifty. I remember they had PlayStation Home back in the day. If any of you guys remember that, go ahead and hit a thumbs up on this video, because that is some old shit, man. But they had exclusive areas in that where, like, if you were a certain level or you paid enough money or you figured out something, you get to go to this area where only the exclusive PlayStation Home people get to go to. And I really like that, because they've kind of added something similar into Headquarters, where if you're a certain prestige, you get to go to this area. If you're not this prestige, you stay in this space. And I'd like to imagine that people who are, you know, higher prestiges, like max prestige or prestige, say there's 30 prestiges in total, like there has been the past few years. Say prestige 20 to 25 gets a special area, and then 26 to 30, or going through 30, get a special area. And then once you've hit the maximum prestige, all of those people have their own area that you can go to, but you're not forced to be in that area only. I think that's a really cool idea, and I hope that that's how it works, and I hope we can see more on that, and that they can update it and do some really, really interesting stuff. The next thing I have here is just prestiging in general. So they've added a lot of epic stuff for prestiging. They've kind of hinted that they're going to be adding things that the community will be rewarded for, whether it's through like points or I just feel like they're trying to put more emphasis on prestiging being worth it, as well as being able to go up on top of the bluff that looks over the entire headquarters with the general per se, and you get to prestige in front of everyone, and it makes it a really, really cool, interesting environment and scenario that we haven't seen in Call of Duty before, and I'm really looking forward to that because prestiging is a huge thing for me. I've always been into prestiging. And just like everything else on this, I really want to learn more about this. And it just, Call of Duty World War II has my mind blown at this point. So many YouTubers have made videos about it. It almost made me think, like, is it worth making a video? Obviously, I'm excited. Like, I'm going to have the same reaction as pretty much everyone else. But I figured I might as well get around to it. Now, the next thing I have here for headquarters is social points, which this is something I just learned about today. And it's been a while since the multiplayer reveal has happened. Here in an article it says, Sledgehammer Games is also focusing a lot on the social aspect of headquarters. We took a look at the behaviors of the Call of Duty multiplayer community, and we recognize that there are plenty of incentives to be proficient when you are competing, when you are fighting, but there wasn't enough incentive for you to be a great member of the community, to be a social advocate. It's trying to build its camaraderie that was a part of the squads of World War II, men and women coming together for the greater good. As you earn higher social points, Sledgehammer Games will reward you with either new gear, calling cards, or customization items. This is exciting. It's another way to earn customization and calling cards and all this stuff. And if you guys have not seen my videos before on my channel, especially talking about new Call of Duty games, customization is such an important thing to me. I love customization, and I really don't want them to stray away from this, because back in the day, spawning in as a default character, very boring. I think that the world has moved on past that, and I think it is time that we fully embrace that, and I'm happy that they're implementing some sort of points thing in here, and I think it's going to be really, really cool. Now, we have customization. So this is going to be a really dangerous one to go through. We have supply drops, cosmetic only at launch, DLC guns, character gear, emotes, all of this stuff encompassed within supply drops. I hope they do supply drops right. I mean, I hope that they take a combination of MWR and IW supply drop system. I think MWR has a fantastic supply drop system. They said they were going to be doing things with collections for the community, get to certain weapons, and that's a very, very good thing. I hope that they follow through with that. And then I like how IW releases new guns right away to the public, because they did confirm, if you guys did not know, that there are going to be variants in the game. But supposedly, at least at launch, they will not be statistic variants in there. So the stats are not going to change. One's not going to have a higher damage than another, or better range, or higher fire rate. They're all going to be the same. They're going to look different. Cosmetic only at launch. They really, really pushed that one home. I feel like they are going to release new guns, obviously, after the game comes out, and they're not going to be cosmetic only. There's going to be some guns that have different statistics. I'm almost sure of that. But with there being variants, I feel like this is a very good opportunity to put those variants out there in collections, kind of like MWR had, but give everybody the base weapon like IW did. That would be the best way to do this. I think that would be the most enjoyable route for them to go down, and that's what I really hope that they do, 100%. I'm not really sad about weapon variants, just as long as they don't get too ridiculous, you know? Like, if there's a different stain on the wood, that's whatever. But if they're, you know, putting, like, purple stripes on the gun and animated flashing camos, it's going to take me out of it a little bit, but, like, I'm okay with camos being kind of ridiculous because they're fucking camos. What I'm not okay with is, you know, looking like a clown while I'm running around the map. I don't want that. Like, I can get over camos not being true to the area or to the era, but I can't get over clown costumes and being a construction worker or, you know, whatever. I just don't want that. Next thing here is we have character gear. I guess I kind of already covered the character gear topic. I want there to be a lot of real-time stuff when it comes to that. You know, I want it to stay true to the era. I don't want it to get too crazy and too out there. And then also they did confirm that there are going to be emotes, but they also said those will remain true to the era, which I hope they stick to their word. The last thing that I have to talk about here is going to be, or this isn't the last thing, but it's one of the last things, is zombies. They haven't released too much about this. I'm really excited to see what they do. I kind of hope it's a combination of their own touch of things. They've kind of hinted that it's going to be actually scary, like it's going to be a scary game mode to play. But I hope that they don't stray too far away from the Treyarch formula, because I think that the Treyarch formula is key when it comes to zombies in Call of Duty. It's very, very fun and enjoyable. The next thing that I have to talk about here is MLG/esports. I think this is going to be a really good year for esports. Everything screams Black Ops 2 to me. The setting that they're kind of building up for, they're putting in a lot of things supposedly when it comes to like game battles and stuff, and there is going to be a ranked mode. They're putting in a lot of things that are looking Black Ops 2-esque, and if they continue to support it and push it, I think that it can be a really, really, really good thing for the game itself, esports, MLG as a whole, and that excites me, even though I don't really partake in that. I do like to see organizations, gaming organizations, and gaming as a whole get bigger, especially when it comes down to like competition and stuff. The next thing here, the last thing actually, are just my concerns and community gripes. I'm going to make a whole nother video talking about the worries that the community has when it comes to censorship and swastikas and stuff of that nature, you know, women soldiers in World War II. I'll make a whole separate video talking about that and how that is its own beast, but for the most part, I think that this game is going to be a really good game, and I don't have a lot of negative things to say about it. Just as long as cosmetics don't get too crazy, as long as the maps flow well, they handle DLC properly, then I think we'll be okay. I am a little bit sad that there's not going to be a clan wars. There hasn't been for a while, so I'm not too worried about it. Plus, it kind of makes the whole game sweaty. But I do like having that aspect of clan wars, so if I do ever manage to make friends, I can play with them and complete things and just kind of unlock exclusive gear. But other than that, I don't really have a lot of gripes for the game as of now. I'm sure that that will probably change at least a little bit once the beta comes out, because every Call of Duty launches with some issues. It never fails, but it doesn't mean it's a bad game. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to see what this game does for the community as a whole and what it changes Call of Duty into for the next 3-year cycle. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and deuces.